Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Given Illustrative, and we're hanging out right here on the I Am Youth Movement YouTube channel. And this is, of course, Millennial Pillars coming to you every Friday. And right now, we're going to be talking about something that I think many of us can relate to. And it is the idea that we have a tendency to go through life and then later find out that there are certain things that we wish someone would have actually taught us and let us know when we were younger or as we were growing up, right? You wish that your parents or the people who raised you, your guardians, whether it's your grandfather, your grandmother, or your uncle, or whoever it may be that raised you, you wish that they could have had the wisdom to let you know beforehand that there are certain things that you will face in life. And I want you to be prepared, even though you might not understand the importance or the value of what I'm teaching you right now, but in future I promise you it'll be worth a lot. So I don't know if you can relate to this, but a lot of my friends relate to this because their parents are the same, or their guardians, the people that raised them. So I've noticed that adults, let me say adults, and I'm going to use the general term guardians because not all of us were raised by our parents, have a tendency to assume that kids have an innate ability to turn out good. And society has that assumption as well. Like, people just assume that as a person, you must have an innate ability. God must have given you the ability to turn out good naturally. And as a society and as a community, we don't have to concern ourselves with teaching you good morals, with teaching you good ethics, with teaching you what things to avoid in life, and with teaching you where to invest your time, and what things should you value, and what things should you not value. And as a result, we live in an age where parents and guardians in general have a tendency not to raise their kids because their kids are raised by video games and television. And you know, one of the things which I hold dear, which might seem small if you're a person who doesn't struggle with this, but I was never, when I was growing up, I was not raised in an affectionate family. And I'm talking not only in my mother's house, but also my nuclear family. So my aunts and my cousins, we were not raised to be compassionate towards one another, to hug each other, to tell each other that we love each other, to check on each other whether we're doing well or not. So as a result, me having grown up, as well as my siblings and my cousins as well, it's something that we naturally struggle with because we were never taught when we were younger. And I think it's a mistake that a lot of parents make. They assume that kids should have an innate ability to discern that, I mean, of course I'm supposed to be an affectionate person. And I've heard some parents say this as well, that kids will turn out the way that they want to turn out. And that's basically lifting the responsibility off of themselves. So as a result, in the modern age that we live in, you have a lot of millennials who are now they're living their lives trying to figure things out, and it's things that they were never meant to figure out. Someone was meant to guide us through that. And it's so sad because we struggle unnecessarily, right? There are a couple of books I've read and a couple of people that I personally listen to, which I've seen a commonality amongst them. There's this common ground or this thread that they all hold in common. And it's the fact that when they were raised by their parents, even though whether the parent was a good or bad parent, but I've noticed that when you are raised by a parent who teaches you to be disciplined, you are more likely to be disciplined as an individual. Or even if you're siblings, you're more likely to be disciplined and more goal driven if your parent was that way, and if also they taught you to be that way as well, as an individual or as individuals. So what I'm basically trying to get at here is this. I know there are people who make this analogy that you can have two kids raised by the same parent, but they'll always turn out differently. But we shouldn't forget the parable of the sower, right? The fact that if you take a seed and you plant it in soil that is conditioned in a certain manner, like if the soil is not fertile, the seed is likely not to grow. but you do get seeds that grow in circumstances that are not conducive to the seed growing. But that experiment doesn't mean that we should continue to plant seeds in bad soil. Family contexts are the same as they're the soil, and children are the seeds, right? I hope you're getting this analogy that I'm making here, right? Or this example. So what I'm trying to say is that it does matter how you're raised. It definitely does matter the things that you're taught by your parent. And if your parents don't understand something and they don't understand to teach you something, then you yourself won't know it. So the conversation that we'll be having for the whole month of November is the fact that we, as people living in the modern world, we need to learn to go easy on ourselves, because we are at a disadvantage, because there were certain lessons that we have to learn from scratch that we were never meant to learn from scratch. We were supposed to be taught by those who came before us. With that said, we're going to end it here for today. But remember that you can comment down below so that I can hear your opinions. And you can also hit that subscribe button as well. My name is Given Illustrative. As always, I love and enjoy hanging out with you. I will catch you next week, Friday. Peace out.